Welcome to the Italian Football Podcast.
Olivier Giroud, he has shown since joining Milan from Chelsea in 2021 that he has been the ultimate big game player in Italian football, in Serie A. I mean, this season in 2022, scored so many big goals. He was the man that won them the Scudetto, really. I mean, obviously, Rafael Leao was player of the season and he was devastating in those final months. But in terms of crucial, decisive goals in the race to the Scudetto, it was Giroud. It was, you had the Milan derby, you had the goal that beat Napoli, the Lazio game, and then of course the final day of the Scudetto against Sassuolo when he got the ball rolling and basically won them that game early on in that first half. Having said that, though, funnily enough, and this is something that I've spoken about and I did earlier this week, he hasn't done it in the Champions League when it matters.
No.
He scored the odd penalty here and there, but in the big games, he's been very, very disappointing for Milan.
Yeah.
So, I said before this game against Salzburg, we need Giroud to turn up. It's about time he turned up in a Champions League game for Milan and when it really matters. And he did it.
Boy, did he. I mean, 2 goals, 2 assists. He was just offside, would have had a hat-trick otherwise. Man of the match by far. And I think, and I've said it on this pod as before in this season, that I don't think physically I've ever seen him in better condition than he is right now. He looks at his absolute peak, and that's so important for Milan. That although he's 36 and 33 days, or however many days it is, the fact that they've bought a player that is not past his best, which everyone thought that he might have been. I honestly don't think that Giroud has been any better ever before. He looks physically, psychologically in complete harmony. He's really enjoying his football. He looks happy. I mean, every time you see Olivier Giroud, you just see a person that is in complete harmony with life and where he is. And that kind of atmosphere, that kind of thing, that rubs off on everyone else around him. And the fact that he is so strong in the air. I mean, the aerial threat that he provides Milan with is just astonishing. The first goal, Sandro Tonali, excellent corner. He wins that header, which, turns it around. That's a really difficult thing to do in that position. Now, I do have question marks defensively because I don't understand how that ball went through 2 defenders and a goalkeeper, because it wasn't exactly that hard in terms of how fiercely he headed it. But regardless, it's a difficult thing he did for the first goal. And then, obviously, for Krunić's goal, that assisted header, that's not easy.
That was world class.
That is world class. Yeah. I mean, that's what he provides for Milan. This aerial presence that he can hold up the ball, he can play off other players aerially. That's an incredibly important aspect of Milan's game that I don't think that they've really utilized as much. And that's something that I think they will start to utilize more, especially when in games like this, when they play opponents who are arguably weaker than them, but decide to defend deep and make life difficult for them. And his aerial presence and his ability to control the ball in the air and play it wherever he wants to. And also, the link-up game for the 4th goal, although the game was pretty much over by then, that aspect of his game will be crucial for Milan, and I think it's incredibly important that he's starting to show that,
and also the leadership and experience that he brings as well to what is still a pretty young team. Let's be honest, most of the players are in their early 20s, and that is important to have that that leadership in your team. Certainly yesterday, because that first half, even though they won 4-0, that first half was on a knife edge. Salzburg were really in the game. They looked dangerous, Salzburg, going forward. Yes, the defence was weak. They defended very badly, Salzburg. The goal for Giroud's second goal was horrific defending, where Leao ran from one side to the other side, crossed it in, and it must have gone through about 3 defenders, and then Giroud turned in the loose ball. But he is an important weapon. He's going to be very, very important for the knockout stages. And like you said, 36 years and 34 days now. He's the oldest player to be involved in in at least 3 goals in a Champions League game since 2003-2004 season. He's the second oldest player to score 2 goals in a game in a Champions League match for Milan since good old Filippo Inzaghi in 2010. I think that might have been against Real Madrid game, I think.
Yeah, I think so as well.
I think it was that game when he scored 2 goals.
I think he surpassed Raul as the most prolific goal scorer of the Champions League in that game as well. The Real Madrid legend, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that because Raul scored a lot of goals. But yeah, he's breaking record after record.
No, I think he did. I remember there was a talking point in that game that he surpassed or equaled Raul's record. But I mean, again, another point to illustrate, well, you know, another factor to further strengthen my point about how I think Giroud's never been better in his career. This was the first time that he scored and made an assist in the same Champions League game. He looks really good, and that's important that Milan have a player again that is at his peak. They need that. They really need that. And with Ibrahimovic, we don't know if he'll ever come back. It's incredibly important that Giroud is doing this well and is in this form. But they do need to be a little bit careful so that they don't burn him out the same way Inter did last season with Edin Dzeko, because 36 is that's you know, at that point in your career when you reach those ages, that's when the injuries come. And
but he's going to the World Cup. He's going to the World Cup, and he's playing so well that you feel like he should deserve to start for France. But unfortunately, there's a certain Karim Benzema, so you're not starting there. But I do feel though he could still be important for France because he is the kind of player that you can bring on and
if you're chasing a goal in the last 15 minutes in his aerial presence and you're just crossing the ball with Theo or whoever it is. Yeah. He's going to win 10 times out of 10 those aerial challenges if the delivery is good enough. Yeah. So
he will be important.
Listen to the full show and all other episodes by going to patreon.com/TIFP and become a member for only $2.99 per month.